Hey everyone, God bless you. And congratulations to all of you who have labored and prayed faithfully for so many years for the end of the enshrinement of abortion in the U.S. Constitution. Today is a wonderful day in the 24th of June, 2022, and our United States Supreme Court has overthrown the infamous 50-year tyranny of Roe versus Wade, this awful, awful disgrace to law, this attack upon the United States Constitution, this imposition of politics to squelch the debate on the most important and most controversial moral issue in the United States of America. In 1973, the Supremes removed the issue of abortion from being something that could be culturally debated to a positive end, in which each state could make its decision about the legitimacy or illegitimacy of killing unborn children in their mother's wombs. Instead, the court made up a supposed right to abortion. In today's decision, which was a 5-4 decision by the Supreme Court, Samuel Alito and those who wrote with him were very clear that the United States Constitution has no reference to abortion whatsoever and provides no right to an abortion. There is no such thing in the United States Constitution, and therefore the Supremes end the illicit tyranny of Roe versus Wade and pass this moral controversy back to where it originally started, which was in the states amongst the people. Now states can and will decide for themselves whether or not to be civilized and uphold the moral law of God, or to continue to live and act like barbarians, which my dear state of California is deciding to ramp up. Not only are we barbarous with regards to abortion, but it seems that our governor and the Democratic Party here has nothing as precious to them as the right for a woman to be able to murder her unborn child in the womb. Today, the three of more liberal Supreme Court justices, Sotomayor and Breyer and Kagan, in their position, articulated that unless a woman has the right to be able to kill her unborn child, she cannot be, quote, a free and equal citizen of the United States. What amazing and ludicrous affirmation. To think that you would have to affirm the right for a mother to kill her unborn child for her to be a free citizen. In fact, we might say it's just the opposite. Just the opposite. Anyone who would do that shows that they are a slave, an absolute slave. I want you to note on this day of rejoicing, and I hope each of you will make your cross and go and pray and thank God today and for many days to come. Thank God for the overturning of this immoral law. We've been asking God to end this, and this is a major victory, certainly the most significant pro-life victory in my life since the mid-'60s. This is a major, major accomplishment, and God has shown mercy. And we should give thanks to God for many days and months to come, as well as continuing to advance the cause at the state level, state by state, for the protection of the unborn and for the protective integrity of women. I want you to notice, however, the providence of this decision coming out on the 24th of June. Today, the 24th of June, happens to be the nativity, the birthday of St. John the Baptist. And that, I think, is noteworthy. Remember that St. John was born in the midst of a murderous slaughter. Herod was slaughtering the children, and John's mother, Elizabeth, St. Elizabeth, fled with John. His father, Zacharias, the priest, was murdered between the temple and the altar, his blood staining the ground there as a witness against Herod's murderous intent. And John's life was only spared because his mother flew into the desert and hid in a cave with John, where she died. Elizabeth died shortly thereafter, and John was raised in the desert. So this is the first thing to note, is that John himself was born in the midst of a murderous child-killing regime, similar to what we've seen in the last 50 years here in the United States. And of course, we've propagated this grotesque abortion and the nonsense of it being a right, a human right, all over the world. As well, notice the providence that John, the forerunner, St. John the Baptist, also was sent, according to the prophet Malachi, that John came to turn the hearts of the fathers to their children. And certainly that's what needs to be happening here. What is, in fact, the foundation upon the abortion regime and to the promotion of abortion? The trivialization of sex, the using of sex by men without responsibility, without a commitment to the consequences of the very powerful sexual drive, which is children. Men wanting, in fact, to just dispose of them, and women also just to dispose of the fruit of their sexual practices. It's time, in fact, for fathers' hearts to return to their kids and for fatherhood to rise. No solution presents falling Western secular culture for its murder, its violence, and the breakdown of the family, except for fathers to assume responsibility for their lives and for their wives, their women, and their children. And the fact that St. John the Baptist is just the man to bring the hearts of the fathers to the children, I think that this is exactly how we should pray and how we should seek to conform ourselves to his example and to his prophetic word. So, all praise to the Lord who brought this hideous decision of Roe versus Wade to an end on the feast day of the Nativity of St. John the Baptist. It's time, I think, for us to continue our repentance, to do penance, and we can do that not just by continuing to work for the overthrow of these hideous laws and the defense of the most defenseless in our culture, which is the defense of the unborn and the support of women in crisis pregnancies. But also we can continue our repentance and do penance for this murderous 50 years, these hideous 50 years, half a century. We can do this by accepting responsibility and embracing family life. Step up. Let's be courageous. Let's commit ourselves to another. Let us choose to love our spouse, to make a commitment, the sacred commitment of marriage, and to accept the children that in God's good providence he wants to give us, and then to spend our lives raising them, loving them, nurturing them as the greatest task that's set before us. Not as something we do when we're home from work. No, work exists for the procreation, upbuilding, formation of children and family life. Let's get our priorities right and build a culture of life in our nation. And may that light of America, a God-loving and family-nourishing culture, may that life spread over to the world. A last word, and that is to all of you who are going to be celebrating, also be wise. Be wise. We should fully expect a murderous response from people who promote murder. Already, hundreds of churches have been attacked these last 2 years. Hundreds of churches have been vandalized, most often for their formal support of overturning Roe versus Wade. And this has only been increasing. It's time for us to defend our churches. It's time for the men of parishes to stand up and do whatever it takes to guard and protect their churches from vandalism, from being burned, and from being attacked. Fully expect a murderous response, dear ones, from those who support murder. And let's be prepared. Let's be prayerful. Let's be vigilant. And let's not let the holiness of our churches be defiled by the godless. God be with you, and congratulations to all.
Patristic Nectar Publications is pleased to present the proceedings of the 2022 Annual PNP Conference entitled Holy Orthodoxy, Presenting the Christian Faith. This 7-lecture series is designed to present a broad exposure of the contours of the Christian faith, both to prepare inquirers and catechumens for holy baptism, as well as deepening and renewing the faith of believers. These lectures are delivered by a collage of catechists, by the deeply respected patrologist Archimandrite Maximus Constas, with additional single lectures by Father Josiah Trenham, Father Bogdan Bucur, and Dr. Tikhon Pino. For these, as well as other conferences and available titles, please visit our website at patristicnectar.org.